I like use example of my my MacBook Air here that I'm looking at, my laptop. It's a great machine, great piece of technology when it works, right? And so far it's been working fine since I purchased it. But it can't express its will. It can't talk to me. I've never heard it speak to me unless I push a button and tell it to dictate something. It can't express its will. It can't tell me that it loves me or anything. I don't know if it loves me. I love it, not in the wrong way, but I appreciate it that it as a piece of technology. But you guys understand the point I'm trying to make. It's a cold piece of technology, right? When it works, it's great, but I can't have a relationship with it. It can't express its own will. I can't lie to it. I can't expect it to convey its feelings towards me and things like that. The Holy Spirit is not like any of that. So we should just begin to understand that the Holy Spirit's not an it, and the Holy Spirit is not an impersonal force of God like the Jehovah's Witnesses and Christadelphians and Iglesia Ni Cristo and Mormons and Unitarians like to teach us. So go on my commentary again. I say, after all, God himself is a spirit, and yet despite the fact that we cannot prove his anatomy with empirical evidence, right? We can't look at God and say, well, we know he's a he, we know he's a she, look at his body, look at his features. We don't know all that, right? Like we can look at a man and know he's a male based on his anatomy. We look at a female, look at a woman, know she's a female based on anatomy. We can know this by empirical evidence, right? We can see, we can test, we can measure. We know with empirical proofs who are males and who are females for the most part in the world today. But with God, we can't do that. God himself, I say in my commentary, he chooses to identify himself to mankind as a he, not as an it, and most definitely not as a she. Understand what I mean there? When you read through the Tanakh, God, who is a spirit, nevertheless uses personal pronouns in the masculine over and over again, like I mentioned in my who is God speaking with the angels in Genesis 1:26. And God said, let us make man in our image, right? Vayomer Elohim, na'aseh b'tzalmenu kidmutenu. And God said, Vayomer, and he said in the singular masculine Elohim, even though Elohim's a plural. Who's the he? The he is Elohim. So even though God is a spirit, he's expressing himself in personal pronouns that are masculine. And he, Elohim, Vayomer Elohim. And God said, Na'aseh, let us make man. I skipped a word there. Na'aseh Adam b'tzalmenu kibutenu. Let us make man in our image after our likeness. So God is not a she. He's a he, according to God's own self-revelation. Anyone reading the Bible with a moderate amount of comprehension can plainly see that the person of the Ruach HaKodesh most definitely displays traits akin to personality. Right? We talked about the fact that the Holy Spirit expresses his will. He can be lied to. He can be grieved, and we can have fellowship with him and things like that. To be sure, the spirit person that we read about in the latter parts of our Bible enjoys most of the same personhood attributes that we humans possess, right? As I've been saying all along, he can be grieved. He can be lied to. He can be resisted. And he has his own will, etc., etc. So